Let's look at the fretboard. There are many memory aids to help a guitarist learn the notes on the fretboard. Let's look at the whole step, half step approach, including some background information on the chromatic scale and enharmonic notes. In Western music, we work with only 12 notes. That's it, only 12 notes. These 12 notes are repeated over and over at a higher or a lower pitch to the extremes of human hearing. We use the first 7 letters of the alphabet to label these notes: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Once we get to G, we simply repeat the notes again: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on. On the guitar, the interval between the notes E and F is a half step. That is, they are 1 fret apart. These notes are adjacent to each other on the same string. They directly follow each other. Likewise, the notes B and C are a half step apart. A whole step is when 2 notes are 2 frets apart, like the notes C and D or G and A. Let's look at this closer. Notes on the first string, thinnest string or bottom string. If we look at the pattern, starting with the high E string open, we have E, then at the first fret we have F, then at the 3rd fret we have G, the 5th fret we have A, the 7th fret we have B, the 8th fret we have C, the 10th fret we have D, and the 12th fret we have E once again. Notice the pattern here. It goes half step between E and F, then whole step between F and G, then whole step between G and A, then whole step between A and B, then half step between B and C, then whole step between C and D, and whole step between D and E. And then this pattern continues to repeat itself. So E open to F, that's a half step. And here's G. And notice G to A, that's a whole step, or 2 frets. Consider the piano keyboard. If we play all 12 notes, white and black keys on a piano, starting from the note A, ascending in pitch, we would use the following symbol, pronounced sharp, for black keys: A, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, and so on. However, when descending in pitch, we would use the following symbol, pronounced flat, for the very same black keys: A, A flat, G, G flat, F, E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat. This relationship is the same on the guitar when ascending or descending. Notice F sharp and G flat are the same note, the same black key on the piano. We call them enharmonic notes, same note but 2 possible names. The black keys on the piano are enharmonic notes. All 12 distinct notes are referred to as the chromatic scale. That would be the white and black keys, played one after the other. Let's look at the natural notes only, that is, without the sharps and flats: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. No sharps, no flats. Notes on the 6th string, thickest string, or top string are the same as the notes on the 1st string, but different pitch. So notice, open position, we have E once again, then F at the 1st fret, G at the 3rd fret, A at the 5th fret, B at the 7th fret, and so on, as before. The step pattern is exactly the same: half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. G to A, 2 frets, whole step. A to B, 2 frets, whole step. Notes on the 5th string. Notice the notes here. If we start on the 5th string open, we have A. And at this point, you should realize it's a whole step from A to B, so that would be 2 frets. So we go A open, B at the 2nd fret, and following B is C. That's a half step, so we'd play C at the 3rd fret. Then up to D, whole step, up to E, whole step, and between E and F, that's a half step again, 1 fret. And then from F to G we have the whole step, and G to A we have the whole step. Notice, it is always true that between B and C and E and F is a half step. The rest are all whole steps. So if you know what note you're starting with on the open strings, you can figure out where the other notes are by using this pattern. C to D, whole step, 2 frets. D to E, whole step, 2 frets. Notes on the 2nd string. Well, the 2nd string starts with B open, so C must be at the 1st fret because between B and C is a half step interval. And then we have a whole step to D, a whole step to E, half step to F, and so on. Notes on the 3rd string. Same thing going on here. The 3rd string is the G string. We start open G, then we go up a whole step to A, that's 2 frets. Then we go up another whole step to B, and then from B to C we have a half step again. Then D, then to E. Notice E and F, half step again. And F to G, we have the whole step. So if you know what note you're starting with, you can figure out the rest along the string by following this pattern. Just remember that between B and C is a half step, and between E and F is also a half step. Everything else is a whole step. Notes on the 4th string. The 4th string we start off with D open, and we go up 2 frets, a whole step. E would be at the 2nd fret, then F would be at the 3rd fret, half step again. F to G whole step, G to A whole step, A to B whole step, B to C half step, C to D whole step. Notice the pattern. The notes not labeled in the diagram are the enharmonic notes. A C flat would be considered a B note. Moreover, an F double sharp would be considered a G note. A sharp raises a note or pitch by a half step or 1 fret. A flat lowers a note or pitch by a half step or 1 fret. This is a good way to think of sharps and flats as just moving the note 1 or 2 steps up or 1 or 2 steps back. Natural notes. First 6 frets. These ones are good to memorize. If you look at the open strings, starting with the 6th string, we have E, A, D, G, B, E. A good way to memorize that is elephants and donkeys grow big ears. And once you know these 6 notes, you can use the step pattern to work your way up the string all the way to the 12th fret and beyond and figure out what all the notes are. Notice on the 1st string once again we have E, E to F is a half step, then F to G is a whole step, and G to A is a whole step. If we go up to the B note here, we have B to C is a half step, C to D is a whole step, D to E is a whole step, and E to F is a half step. At the G string, notice we go up to A, whole step, B, whole step, and then B to C, half step once again. And at the D string, we go up to E, whole step, E to F, half step, F to G, whole step. At the A string, E to B, whole step, B to C, half step, C to D, whole step. And once again, at the 6th string, notice the 6th string is exactly the same note pattern as the 1st string. And if you remember in the guitar, the thickest string is called the 6th string, as you go down, it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The first string is the thinnest string. But the pattern is the same on the 6th string as the first string. E to F's, half step, F to G, whole step, G to A, whole step. And this would be a good region of the guitar to memorize the notes. Notice at the 5th fret, another way to memorize this here would be Arctic dogs get cold feet. Arctic dogs get cold feet. There's also another pattern on here you can notice. See the B right here, if you go down you got B-E-A-D. That spells the word bead. And there is a memory device you can use to help you recall these patterns here. And it goes like this. It comes from what's known as the line of fifths. And watch how this works. Battle ends and down goes Charles' father. Battle ends and down goes Charles' father. Or you could do it this way. Father Charles goes down and ends battle. Father Charles goes down and ends battle. That pattern's all over the guitar. You notice it even in this area. I didn't put in these notes here at the 7th fret, but this would be B. Between A and B it's a whole step, and this would be E. Between D and E is a whole step. Now watch how this works. This would be B, this would be E, remember that. Battle ends, and down goes Charles' father. Battle ends, and down goes Charles' father. You'll see this pattern all over the guitar. It also goes the other way around. Notice here, this F here. Father Charles goes down and ends battle. Father Charles goes down and ends battle. Many different ways to look at it, but the pattern is all over the place. Just look for it. By using sharps and flats in this way, we have the following possibilities. We have A natural, A sharp, and A flat, B natural, B sharp, and B flat, and so on. Notice, B sharp is considered a C note. Just as we can produce the chromatic scale, we can also think of enharmonic notes as producing an enharmonic scale. Further music theory study will show a guitarist how to apply the sharps and flats or accidentals when referring to musical keys and such. For now, a guitarist should simply memorize where the natural notes are located using the step pattern. You should follow the whole step, half step pattern, remembering that the notes E and F as well as B and C are a half step apart. All the other natural notes are a whole step. This will go far for you, and it's not that difficult to do once you get the hang of it. Natural notes, first 6 frets. Notice the patterns here, same thing. I would start with just memorizing this region of the guitar. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.